Sergeant at Arms, secure the meeting hall.
Secure all. Secure.
Bugler, sound attention. Everybody please rise and face the colors of the United States. My right, your left. Yes. Hand salute. Order, halt. Please uncover. Chaplain, would you render our prayer, please?
Gracious God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your presence tonight, dear Lord. And we thank you for the American Legion and the auxiliary and the sons. Bless us as we go through this meeting tonight and this ceremony. And bless the families that gathered here tonight also. And these things we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Please face the POWMIA table to my left, your right. A prisoner of war missing in action empty chair is placed at all official meetings of the American Legion as a physical symbol of the thousands of American prisoners of war missing in action still unaccounted for from all wars and conflicts involving the United States of America. This is a reminder for all of us to spare no effort to secure the release of any American prisoners from captivity, the repatriation of the remains of those who have died bravely in defense of liberty, and a full accounting of those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves to this vital endeavor. Please face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please recover. All our guests can be seated. Legionnaires and sons and auxiliary, please remain standing. We'll recite the Constitution of the American Legion, or the preamble. For God and country, we associate ourselves together for the following purposes: to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, to maintain law and order, to foster and perpetuate a 100% Americanism, to preserve the memories and incidents of our associations in all wars, to inculcate the sense of individual obligation to the community, state, and nation, to combat the autocracy of both the classes and the masses, to make right the master of might, to promote peace and goodwill on earth, to safeguard and transmit to posterity the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, to concentrate and sanctify our comradeship by our devotion to mutual helpfulness. Please take your seats. I now declare Hiltonstone American Legion Post 279, Department of Tennessee, regularly convened. Adjutant, what's the roll call for tonight?
Roll call has been conducted. We've got 25 Legion members, 6 auxiliary, 6 sons, and I count 15 guests.
I want to say a personal welcome and a welcome on behalf of Post 279 to all our guests that are here tonight. It's an honor for us to have an opportunity to conduct this repatriation ceremony and for all of you to be here to witness this ceremony. So before proceeding with the other business of this meeting, we will conduct the military medal repatriation ceremony, presenting a lost Purple Heart to the next of kin of a now deceased World War II veteran. Sergeant at Arms, allow no one to enter or leave this room, and all present, please remain silent until the conclusion of this ceremony. Sergeant at Arms, is the equipment properly arranged for our ceremony?
All equipment is set up.
Take your post. Tonight, we have the distinct honor to repatriate the Purple Heart Medal awarded to Private First Class Sheely Ray Thomas during World War II to his surviving daughter, Mrs. Joanne Lawrence. As I understand it, this Purple Heart Medal has been missing since just after PFC Thomas's death on the 5th of February, 1997, and has been a topic of a discussion at many family gatherings since that time. Tonight, we will return this Purple Heart Medal to its rightful place with the next of kin of Sheely Ray Thomas, where it should be displayed in a place of honor in his descendants' homes forevermore. This Purple Heart, to my right, was awarded to Private First Class Sheely Ray Thomas on the 24th of September, 1944, in or around Coniali, Italy, northeast of Florence, Italy, during the United States 351st Infantry Regiment of the 88th Infantry Division's offense to break the Gothic Line defense of Nazi German forces in the North Apennines mountain range. This Purple Heart Medal is the oldest award given to U.S. military members, and its history goes back to the Badge of Military Merit established by General George Washington, at that time Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, on the 7th of August, 1782. The Badge of Military Merit was authorized for award to non-commissioned officers and soldiers of the Continental Army for unusual gallantry in battle or extraordinary fidelity and essential service. The Purple Heart Medal, in its current form, was designed by General Douglas MacArthur on 7 January 1931, and its purpose was changed to be an award given by the President of the United States for military merit and wounds received in action. Though the Purple Heart Medal was officially established in its current form and for its current purpose in 1931, its authorization for award to combat wounded military members and veterans was backdated to the 5th of April, 1917, the day the United States entered World War I. Since that time, the Purple Heart has been awarded to 320,518 service members from World War I, 1,076,245 from World War II, 118,650 during the Korean War, 351,794 during the Vietnam War, 607 in the Persian Gulf War, 12,534 in the war in Afghanistan, and 35,411 in the Iraq War. The Purple Heart Medal is very distinctive in that it is only awarded to those military members wounded or killed in action, spilling their blood in defense of liberty. In preparing for this ceremony, I've had the opportunity to review Private First Class Thomas's military service records, as well as the history of the regiment and division to which he was assigned during World War II. I would like to take this opportunity to share a bit of Private First Class Thomas's experiences leading up to his wounding in action. Private First Class Sheely Ray Thomas was conscripted into the Army of the United States on the 4th of September, 1943, and reported for basic training on the 25th of September, 1943, at Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. Trained as an automobile equipment operator, i.e. a truck driver, he was then assigned to the Army Air Forces and boarded a ship on 18th of March 1944 bound for the Mediterranean Theater of Operations in Europe, landing on the 28th of March 1944 in Naples, Italy. There he was assigned to the 351st Infantry Regiment of the 88th Infantry Division, the first U.S. Army division formed 100% from conscripted soldiers. Private First Class Thomas's first combat action came on 11th of May, 1944, with the 351st Infantry Regiment fighting to relieve the U.S. beachhead of the 6th Corps at Anzio. This battle began on the 29th of May, and following the 88th Division made the attack north to liberate Rome, the Eternal City, from Nazi occupation on the 4th of June, 1944. After a very short 3-day rest, the 351st Infantry Regiment pursued the retreating German forces north toward the Arno River, crossing the river on the 20th of June, 1944, in the face of fierce German resistance. After 2 intense weeks of fighting just north of the Arno River, the 88th Division was relieved in place, moving south of the Arno for a period of rest, restructuring, and training in preparation for its assault toward the Gothic Line. On the 9th of July, 1944, the 351st Infantry Regiment began its attack northeast across the low ground toward Florence, Italy, which is the gateway to the Apennine Mountains. Spearheading the offensive of the 88th Infantry Division against heavy German defenses and counterattacks, the 351st fought valiantly, capturing multiple towns and cities before being relieved on the 28th of July, 1944, to once again rest, refit, and train. On the 9th of September, 1944, the 351st Infantry Regiment moved by truck to Galluzio, Italy, a few miles southeast of Florence, in preparation for being committed to the battle for the Gothic Line. On the night of 22 September, the 351st Regiment marched to Camaggiore in the Apennines Mountains in preparation for an assault that would take the regiment through the Gothic Line all the way to the Po Valley. At 6 p.m. on 23 September 1944, the 351st Regiment launched a 3-pronged attack against the German defenses of the Gothic Line. Immediately, the regiment was struck with heavy German artillery and mortar fire, reminding the men of the 351st of the price of victory. By twilight, the 351st had made significant progress against the German positions, advancing over 2,000 yards. By daybreak of the 24th of September, the 351st faced a German strong point running along the ridgeline from Mount Pradolungo across the line of advance. The 351st pressed on against heavy German defenses and artillery, suffering heavy losses from mortar and artillery fire in vicinity of the village of Caniali, Italy, roughly halfway across the Apennines toward their objective at Imola, Italy. As the sun set on the 24th of September 1944, a savage windstorm lashed the 351st with winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. The soldiers of the 351st spent the night huddled behind rocks for protection from the gale-force winds, which made it impossible to hear the German artillery and mortar rounds which were screaming in upon their positions. It was in this fight that Private First Class Sheely Ray Thomas received his wounds, earning him the award of the Purple Heart. Mule skinners braved the high winds and the heavy bombardment of artillery and mortars to bring forward food and ammunition and to transport the wounded and dead from the battlefield throughout the night, suffering very heavy losses. This battle would not mark the end of PFC Thomas's service during World War II. He would return to duty after his wounding and participate in the liberation of the Po Valley, once again assigned to the 351st Infantry Regiment. PFC Thomas departed Europe on the 13th of August, 1945, arrived in New York Harbor on the 22nd of August, 1945, and was just discharged from military service at Patterson Field, Ohio, now known as Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, on the 6th of November, 1945. For his service in combat with an infantry regiment, PFC Sheely Ray Thomas was awarded the Combat Infantryman Badge, the European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Ribbon with 3 bronze stars, the Good Conduct Medal, and the World War II Victory Medal, in addition to the Purple Heart that he received. This moment is sacred with the almost visible presence of those who have gone before. We come to honor the memory of our comrade who offered his life in service to our country and who is now enrolled in that great Spirit Army whose footfalls cause no sound, but in the memory of mankind his soul goes marching on, sustained by his pride of service in time of war, and because of his honorable service our lives are free. Because of his dedication to duty, our nation lives. Because of his selfless actions, the world is blessed. May this service deepen our reverence for our departed comrade. We will now present a United States flag to Mrs. Joanne Lawrence in honor of her father's service to the nation. Once we have presented the flag, we will proceed to repatriate the Purple Heart Medal of Private First Class Sheely Ray Thomas to Mrs. Lawrence. I ask that all Legionnaires and veterans rise for the ceremony. Anybody that would like to take pictures, please feel free to move around to whatever position you would like to be at to get those pictures. Honor Guard, post. Present horns. Order horns. Secure the colors.
On behalf of the President of the United States and a grateful nation, I present you this flag in memory of your loved one's service to this nation.
Legionnaires, freeze, Dave. Oh.
behalf of the President of the United States, it's my honor to repatriate this medal given to your father for wounds received on the 24th of September 1944 in the battle for the Gothic Line in Italy.
Honor Guard post. Please take your seats. This concludes our Purple Heart repatriation ceremony. I want to give Mrs. Lawrence and the family of Sheely Ray Thomas an opportunity to speak to the audience. That doesn't mean you have to, but I'm going to give you the opportunity on any thoughts you might like to share. So I'm going to open the floor to the family.
All I can say is on behalf of my brother and our family, we appreciate this and the effort y'all went through to bring this home to us.
It's our pleasure and honor. I also want to give Mr. Freddie Bowman, whose conscientious efforts to secure this medal have enabled this ceremony, the opportunity to address the family. Mr. Bowman.
I felt it was an honor and a privilege to return this to the rightful owners. I was more than happy to do it.
Thank you.
So from now on, your Christmases, you will not be wondering where it is. May God keep you all.
Thank you. We want to thank the family and the friends of our departed comrade for your attendance during this solemn ceremony. This concludes our ceremony, and with the rap of the gavel, our visitors may leave, or if you would like, remain for our regular business meeting as you wish. Chaplain and Adjutant, please escort our honored guest. Sergeant at Arms, please reset the room for the business meeting.